Hello, I'm Leah Zimmerman of AHS-TV. Today I am joined by Miss Hankey to talk about social media's effect on mental health. But before we get into it, our own Mia Wright took to the halls of AHS to take a closer look.
Hello, I'm Mia Wright of AHS-TV, and today we're taking a closer look at social media's effect on students' mental health. I took to the halls of AHS to see what students had to say.
Do you feel that as an AHS student, social media has an impact on your mental health?
Yeah, it affects me negatively because there's a lot of hate and selfishness in the world.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I catch myself comparing myself to others, and there's just a lot of drama on social media, so I try to avoid it, but I feel like if you avoid it, it can definitely impact your mental health in a positive way.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. In what ways?
Negatively, because bad influences, and if you see something that's not real, then it just negatively.
I also agree negatively because as a teenager, it can affect body image a lot, but one positive of it is it's a lot more social and you can interact with more people and your friends, you know.
I feel like mental health has a lot to do with kids nowadays, 'cause I feel like a lot of kids at AHS are really attached to their phone. I know next year they're probably going to be implementing that phone rule that takes away phones from kids coming into the school. So I believe that phones are a really big thing, because I feel like a lot of the bullying and fights and everything that happen here all start online. I don't think they happen in person. So yes, I do think social media has a big impact here on students in Armstrong.
Do you feel that you get distracted by social media content when you're in school?
Personally, no, but I know a lot of kids who actually do. They'll lose entire lessons. They'll lose.
Not me personally, but some people are always on TikTok.
Yeah, it can definitely be distracting, but not for me.
Yeah, social media is so big. So, there's a lot going on in the world, and it's distracting in school,
Yeah, I feel like if I have a substitute or something, I'm always on my phone, but I don't really do my work if I have a sub or something, so I definitely do get distracted a lot.
And as a student, what can you do to help reduce negative effects of social media?
I just think everyone needs to be nice to each other, and that drama should be regulated at school, and it should not happen. So, yeah.
Personally, no, but I know a lot of kids who actually do. They'll lose entire lessons. They'll lose class time. They'll lose notes just because they're on their phone. They don't pay attention to class.
As a student, what can you do to help reduce the negative effects of social media?
Just be positive, There's a lot of hate on social media, but I feel like if you're just nice to everyone, don't start drama or beef with anyone.
Don't post non-factual things.
And if you see someone getting bullied or harassed, maybe stick up for them or just report the comment.
I can, put down the phone more and be mindful of what I say and what I'm watching on the internet.
I also got the opportunity to sit down with Miss Bellis, a guidance counselor here at AHS, to get her thoughts on the matter.
Do you believe there's a connection between students' mental health and social media?
I do, Mia. I think, does social media cause mental health? No, but it can amplify a student's mental health. The longer we are on social media, it can greatly impact our anxiety, our self-worth. There's a lot of curated and filtered images on social media that we do a lot of comparing to, and so that can impact a student's mental health.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think social media affects our perception of reality?
Well, like I just mentioned, I think the curated ads and the curated things that we see, all the filters that we have, it really creates this false sense of reality for people. We think people may have things or may look a certain way, and it's really far from the truth, but it can certainly do a number on your mental health if you're constantly looking at that, or you're comparing yourself to somebody, or you're competing with somebody. So there is definitely it can impact your perception of reality.
So kind of in a way false standards.
Sure, yeah.
Can you describe successful strategies you've personally used to help create a positive and supportive school environment that reduces the negative effects of social media?
I think the biggest thing is that, let me start over. Let me read your question again. Say it to me again.
Can you describe Can you describe successful strategies you've personally used to help create a positive and supportive environment at school that reduces negative effects of social media?
I think maybe we need to look at that the other way, right? So if we decrease our use of social media during the school day, which probably comes a lot from our cell phones, if we decrease that, I think that would have a profound impact on increasing our positive school environment, right? Kids are going to feel safer here. They're going to feel more welcomed if they don't have all of this negative interaction that carries over from social media a lot of times.
In your opinion, what role should schools play in promoting digital wellness and mental health awareness among students?
There's a lot that we can do and that we do already. I know that even from our elementary school, like we provide a lot of education on internet safety. We have classes here such as media literacy, trying to help our students see the difference between what's real and what's not, and what's true and what's not. I think the biggest thing is just providing a safe place for kids to come to, such as the guidance office, the front office, the nurse's office, if you are having a hard time with your mental health, and just promoting students to limit themselves or set boundaries when it comes to social media, particularly their cell phone use. If we can get a hold of that, I think that would be very beneficial for their mental health.
Well, there you have it, folks, straight from the Hawk's Beak.
Just as no two oak leaves are the same, your journey at IUP is uniquely yours. Yours to explore your interests, pursue your passions, discover your calling. You will face challenges. Success comes with challenges, but you'll never have to go it alone. Whatever you need, from academics to wellness support, we'll be here for you throughout your journey. Get in the Grove at IUP. This is your time to engage, create, follow your passion, show your spirit, go all out, or just kick back. Here in the Oak Grove at the heart of IUP, endless opportunities await. Where do you fit in? Wherever you want. This is your time. This is your place. Get in the Grove at IUP.
I'm now joined in the studio by Miss Hankey to talk about social media's effect on mental health. Would you please tell us a little bit about yourself for our viewers?
My name's Mrs. Hankey. I have been at AHS for 4 or 5 years now, and I teach emotional support, which I think we already said that.
So how are you today?
I'm well. I'm a little nervous.
Okay, me too. Do you often deal with students having trouble due to social media?
I do. A lot of my students, I do teach emotional support. I feel like a lot of the issues that I deal with stem from social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How could mental health relate to what you teach?
I teach social skills, so I do target like social media literacy and things like that. I also teach English. I teach 9th grade English and 12th grade English, and I was actually just talking to Ms. Gibbon about this. I think we teach mental health without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Like right now we're reading Romeo and Juliet, so we're talking about impulsivity and communication and all those kind of things. So I think it comes up in lessons and when we aren't really planning it, but we are able to talk about it then.
Mm-hmm. I know I actually have you emotional support for like English.
Yes.
I do have an IEP, and even just being like versus in a normal classroom in your room, I can just tell the difference. It's much more laid back. It's much more a little bit like focused one-on-one.
Yeah.
And even that can help on like an emotional or social aspect.
Yep, I agree.
So do you think students staying up using social media affects their learning abilities?
I do. I see a lot of students, especially like 9th graders. We got a lot of sleeping, and if I do like have the conversation with them about like what's going on. It's like, oh, I was up on my phone all night, or oh, I was playing my video games. So, and I do think that, that definitely takes away like the sleeping and just like not being able to focus.
Yeah. How do you think social media affects students' self-esteem?
I see it, it can go both ways, I think, but I feel like it's mostly negative. Like a lot of my students see other people like having all these friends or, all this stuff, and that definitely, like we do have conversations about that, but there are positive impacts to social media too that really can help self-esteem.
I think from like just a student aspect, I see it every day. Like you said, whether it's negative or positive, I would definitely say I personally see more negative just being a student, because I know like some of our student body runs social media accounts. Some might not be positive, while some may be. So that definitely can affect that a little. Do you think social media can hinder students' attention span to ability to focus?
Yes, especially with Reels and TikTok, those 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute, like, things like we love that instant gratification. I'm guilty of it too. So like when we're teaching like a more complex or a longer concept, I see students get bored more easy. Like, so I do see that.
I'm just as guilty sometimes. Like if I'm finished early, I'll just be like, oh.
I same, sometimes.
How can teachers support students who are mentally affected by social media?
I think just being available and open to having those conversations. I think a lot of students aren't comfortable saying or bringing up issues with their teachers, but just being available to students and building those relationships and like knowing when they are a little bit off and taking the time to like, go one-on-one and just really see how they're feeling.
Yeah. I think also like you having that quiet space in your room can help, because then like if you are having a class, you could take like, if a student's affected, you can take them.
I really like to keep my room like a safe space, and if kids are in there, I usually like let them know like there's, this is like a safe place for a lot of the students. So
what are some school programs or resources you would recommend for someone having mental health issues related to social media?
I think our school does an excellent job of battling mental health and providing resources. We have 5 school counselors here that are available during the day. We also have Miss Stidiano, our mental health liaison. She's amazing. And we also offer school-based therapy. So students can get therapy once a week in school, so don't have to worry about, getting a ride there after school. We also have a SAP team, the Student Assistance Program, where teachers or parents can just let the team know, like maybe they see something, and then what that team does is then they disperse and look through all the resources and see what would work best for the student. So I think that there's so many things here that.
I agree. I think, honestly, when I came to Armstrong, what helped me best was even just being involved.
Yes.
We have so many clubs, we have so many sports. There's so many opportunities you can have within the school just to get yourself out there. Maybe make more friends. That's like what...
Feeling like a part of a community is definitely helpful.
How do students typically talk about social media experiences to you? Is it more positive outlook or negative?
I think we kind of touched on this one. Like I don't always want it to be negative, but for the most part, I'm dealing with a lot of like so-and-so's bullying me or so-and-so posted this. But the one thing that I do like about social media is I love it when the kids do show me pictures of like what they were doing on the weekends or what food they made. So like there are really good things that come from it. It's just not all, I don't always get to see that.
I know some teachers that even like incorporate social media in their class. Like if you make a funny math TikTok, I might give you an extra point.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's funny, and I think that's a good way to involve social media positively. And also just like AHS-TV, like that's another good outlook on social media, because this does get like posted on YouTube or wherever. So I think that's a good one. Do you think social media has a big role in shaping our future high school environment?
I do, like you said, like if we could incorporate it more into our lessons. And I think that the problem with that right now is a lot of students don't have that social media literacy and the how to use it appropriately. So I think that's where we struggle the most, because I would love like to, bring that into my class, but I have kids that are stuck on their phones and I can't even get them off of it. But, with social media and I feel like it's kind of shortened some attention spans. I think that somehow we need to figure that out in terms of how it's going to look down the road.
Right. And I think like in some of the younger grades, obviously even for me, social media was more of a problem because we're all just like on it 24/7.
Yes.
We're very consumed with it. And I definitely think like the older you get, the less you use your phone. Like I definitely am not on my phone as much as I was in 9th grade. And I think it's good that we have teachers like you who can like kind of influence it positively and make just like a difference in it. Do you think social media can have positive impacts?
I do. I really do. Like we were just talking about the school website. Like I love seeing all of that. I love seeing everybody's accomplishments. And I think that, even I have conversations with my students about like, oh, look at, what so-and-so's doing, or this club, like maybe you could get involved. So I try to use that in a way to get kids involved and like seeing like all the good that can come from it.
Yeah, totally. Would removing phones or social media specifically from the school environment result in improvement?
I feel like a lot of people are going to come for me for that, but yes, I do. But is that ever going to happen? I don't know. And to combat that, just having lessons and discussions about appropriate social media use, like in school, and it's important to learn it now, because what's going to happen when you get to work and you're caught on your phone,
Yes,
so it's good to learn those lessons now. But so.
Is there a specific platform on social media that you hear complaints about more often?
Snapchat. Snapchat is such a huge problem. I hear some things about Discord every now and again. I don't know what that is.
Discord.
Yeah, so I don't know, but kids do talk about it. But Snapchat, and I think that it is. I hear the most complaints about that because you can snap something and it goes away. The screenshots, but it's so easy to just like disperse information with it, and it just spreads around so quickly, and
Snapchat has this option, I think that they are removing soon. It's like a school story, and it's like if you sign up with your email, it's like automatically like AHS 2026, and that's where I've personally seen like even like positive things. Like it'll be like, oh, there's like a big sale in the lobby, like come down. Or there has been other incidents, but usually
I'm
they
sure.
get removed from the school story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I definitely think that that's a big one. Like I always see school stories. Can you describe the difference between healthy and unhealthy use of social media?
I think that healthy social media use would look like where you're connecting with people in a positive way. I think that social media is a great outlet, to build community, to be creative. I love seeing kids creating things. And I think it moves into that unhealthy territory when it's causing you stress, or you're accessing it more than, multiple hours a day, or you're fighting with people, or you're experiencing bullying. I think that's when it starts to move into that unhealthy range, and maybe we should reassess, our usage.
I agree. Do you think cyberbullying is more common than other forms of bullying?
I think that it is more common. That's not to say that, regular like face-to-face bullying or whatever isn't, still happening. But I think cyberbullying is so prevalent because we just have access to our phones at all times, and it's so hard to get away from it. And I think that really affects a lot of kids.
Yeah, and I definitely think like the internet is where just most things stem from, because at no point in the day do I like hear someone say something. I usually see it on my phone.
Right.
And then it's in the hallways, and it's because it's so easy to access.
Right.
It just gets spread.
Yep, so quickly.
Yeah. So what are ways that you think students can reduce these negative effects of social media?
I think just, setting time limits for yourself on your phone, or, if you are starting to feel like you're stressed or you're just feeling negatively impacted by social media, take a break. And I know that's really hard because you don't want to feel left out. Like, I'm sure the FOMO is real, but, I think that just being disciplined and doing that and having conversations, I think that can help.
Even at home sometimes, like, I'll just power off my phone and I'll go do something.
Good
like,
for
I'll
you.
go talk to my mom. And I think that's what gives me, like, almost the, not power, but, like, what I can do at school is, like, use that. Like, sometimes I'll just power it off and put it in my backpack.
That's awesome. I love that. You should spread the word.
Yeah.
No, I do that too sometimes at nighttime. Like, if I am scrolling, sometimes I'll be like, okay, I have to read for a half hour
like,
before I do that.
Almost like a rule. It's
Yes,
like
and I do that as well. So it's not only, kids that do that, it's also adults.
Yeah. Is there a message you'd like to give students here at our school in relation to social media and mental health?
I would just say that if you ever need any help or you're experiencing some mental health concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to someone. Right. I know it feels scary, to admit those things sometimes, but find a trusted staff member or just any adult and have that conversation. And, even if it is about social media, like, just bring it up. There's people here that want to help and want to see kids be successful.
Right. And I guarantee you, most people you're going to talk to, there's nothing they haven't already experienced.
Correct.
So,
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that's all for this segment of Best of the Nest. I'd like to thank Ms. Henke for joining us today to talk about social media's impact on mental health. I'm Leah Zurin of AHS-TV. Until next time, from our nest to yours, keep on soaring.